Hey guys, today we're going to be demoing a kind of an old school washer here. It's very similar to a Speed Queen, an older Speed Queen style. It's a Signature 2000, and over here we've got a pretty standard Amana, which is made by Whirlpool electric dryer. So we got these two paired up today. I'm going to show you that everything on them is working perfect. Also going to give you some tips on maybe it's your first time doing laundry, maybe you're a veteran. But on this one specifically, we're just going to kind of run through the controls on it. Same thing with the dryer, show you how it works. Let's run through this on the washer here real quick. We've got on temperature, several different controls here. And the top is going to be the temperature for the wash cycle, and the bottom is the temperature for the rinse cycle. Now, this you can actually do warm on rinse. All the new machines won't even let you do that. It's all cold for all the new machines. So you have a little bit more control here. I've got it set to warm for the wash cycle and cold for the rinse cycle. You just push whichever button in that you want. And then over here, water level, you get to control exactly how much water it's gonna use. And so I've got it set to high for a full load because I packed this thing full of towels. And then you actually get to control how fast it's gonna spin and agitate. And so I've got it set to A, which is going to be a normal, so basically it's fastest speed for both. And then over here, you have several different options for whatever type of laundry you're going to wash. And I've got towels in there, so I just went to regular on a heavy, so this designates how long it's going to wash for. And so I've got it set basically to the heaviest wash cycle here. You can hear it running. We can lift this up. Now, it does have a lid switch here, and so if this were on the spin cycle, it wouldn't allow you to lift this up without it shutting down. But for now, it's fine with the agitate. But as you can see, full submersion, getting those clothes mixed up really well. It kind of does a vortexing motion on the top load washers. And so with this, put about a quarter to a half a cup of your detergent. You just dump it right down in there. As you can see, it's full submersion, so it's going to get plenty mixed in. Bleach would go here, and this is probably as full as you'd want to fill this machine, maybe even a little too full, but these older machines can handle it. I'm not too worried about it. It's going to be able to rock and roll through this no problem and do a really good job spinning out and everything. On the newer machines though, you'd want to see a good portion of the top of the tub sticking up, but on these older ones we can pretty much pack it to the brim and it's going to be just fine. So here's some operating instructions if you wanted to pause and read through how they used to be on those machines there. But really just kind of fill it up and let it rip. You want to make sure it's balanced as you put it in there. But as you can see, it's working perfect on the agitation. Now, a couple of tips here for hooking this up. If maybe you just bought a used set or a brand new set even. A couple of things that are super important for these machines. One, you want to make sure that you get a really good set of steel braided hoses. Like this set here is what I would recommend. It is 4 foot in length, which should be about long enough for just about anything, unless for some reason you have it way far away from the wall. But as you can see, these are braided with steel, because the cheap rubber ones for 10 bucks might be tempting, but those rubber ones have a tendency to swell up and they can burst. And if you're gone for 3 days and that happens, ooh, that's a mess you don't want to come home to. And these here have a 5-year warranty. I got a link to these in my description. And it just screws on. You have some angled and some straight there, so whichever ones just kind of fits, whichever fits your laundry room situation a little better. You have options there. You always want to make sure once you go to install it that the little black little rubber washer is seated in the hoses or they'll leak. Sometimes you could use some of that white plumber's tape too. But that's my number one recommendation for the washer, is some good steel braided hoses. The other thing, and you wouldn't need to worry about it on this machine, but on the newer machines, especially with any electronics, you'd want to make sure you've got a good surge protector, rated 950 joules or above. There is no electronics on this one, so you don't have to worry about it. That's pretty much it as far as the recommendations I would make on the washer, other than making sure that you use, this one would take just regular laundry soap. You could use the HE soap if you wanted to, but all the new machines require the HE soap. Make sure you get HE soap for the new machines. Now we might as well run through the dryer real quick. When you're going to hook this up, a couple of things you're going to need. One, you're going to make sure you have the right power cord. And just to be clear, none of this stuff will come with your machines, whether you buy them used or if you're buying them new. Now, if you happen to get maybe an old cord or some old hoses on the washer, if you buy it used, you need to check that really good or just go ahead and replace them. The owner's manual says to replace all the accessories, the cords, the hoses, everything, every time you move, because this stuff tends to get damaged very easily, and most of the time it does. I mean, if you've got a cord on there and you check it and it's good and there doesn't seem to be any issues, you're good to go. You don't have to spend the money. But I always recommend replacing the hoses on the washer, especially if it's got the cheap rubber ones on there. Do not use those, please. Trust me, I have seen the aftermath of a flood because of busted hoses, and it is not pretty. But on the dryer, you're going to need either a 4-prong or a 3-prong cord. And the difference is here, this has a dedicated ground and this one doesn't, but both of these have this little L shape here for laundry, whereas there's a version of this cord for a stove where it's flat here and doesn't have the L. Just make sure you don't get that one. It's a bigger, thicker cord anyway, rated 50 amps for a stove. So you're looking for 30 amps, and you just need to maybe take a picture of your outlet to see which one you need when you go to the store to buy one. Or I have these linked in my description, also on Amazon. It's the best price with warranty on pretty much all of this stuff here. So it's what I use, it's what I recommend. And then you're gonna need this here for the back. This just hooks up and allows you to then go out wherever your ventilation is. So it would hook up on the back of the dryer here and then go out wherever it is on the wall in your apartment or whatever you're hooking it up in. So, and this one comes with 2 little clamps that actually have a hand tighten, which I love these. It's way better than all the other ones for some reason come with a flathead screwdriver. Such a pain. So this is also linked in the description. You can pick all of this up relatively cheap. It's a great price, but good quality. So that's what you're gonna need for the dryer. Now we're gonna let the washer finish up the wash cycle. We'll come back as it drains and goes into the rinse cycle, show you the drain's working perfect, that it's got a nice, fast, smooth final spin cycle as well, before we move over to the electric dryer and show you that that's working perfect. All right, switching out of that wash cycle now. You can hear it running that drain. Nice and fast. Then once it drains out the water, it's gonna spin to extract the used up water, fill back up for the rinse cycle, agitate for a bit, then it'll drain again for the final spin cycle, which is what we'll come back for next. All right, final spin. I've got a little screwdriver here holding down the lid switch, so it thinks the lid's closed. I wanted to show you though how fast it's spinning. That super heavy towel load. Doing an excellent job. Max extracting the water out of those clothes. As you can see, even with the lid open, nice, smooth, quiet operation. And it's gonna spin like this for a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop this lid down and let it finish up. Okay, now we've got the washer clean and cleared out. You can see how there's plenty of room there. And that's good to go. We come over here, got everything piled in there. Go ahead and close that up. We're gonna set this to time dry on a high heat setting. So here's how this works. We've got time dry, which is high heat, automatic dry, which is high heat. And then the difference here, really the difference is that this has the wrinkle prevent. This is 60 extra minutes in 10-minute intervals, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off for 60 minutes, allowing you a little extra time to get back and fold up these clothes before the wrinkles set in. And then how long that's gonna run just depends. So think of this all the way out here at the edge of the blue as like your 60 minutes. Then it's gonna run, then when it hits this, it's gonna do that cycling for an additional hour, I believe. Time dry though is just 60 minutes. Runs all the way down, gets down to here, it kind of lightens up on the heat a little bit. This is a air dry no heat setting, so you get about 20 minutes of super delicate items would go in that. Then you have a low heat setting, so also a little more delicate items you'd want to do here. And this is going to be about, this should be about a 30-minute setting. You might get 40 if you go all the way out here. But yeah, that's pretty much how this works. So we got to set time dry, high heat. You've got your lint trap right here. You want to make sure that gets clean and clear before each and every load, so you have good airflow through there. So we'll go ahead and push start. We're going to give it just a second to warm up. But also you can see in here, it sounds great. Tumbling those clothes. Now when you get that silver vent hose on the back and it starts to ventilate outside of the house, it's going to muffle that blower motor sound. So all you'll hear is just kind of the clothes tumbling around. You won't hear that blowing sound if you can hear it. But I'm going to show you that it is in fact heating like it's supposed to. So this is a little temperature gun here. I use this with every single load to show you that it is heating up. So it's 72 degrees on top of the dryer. Down on the carpeted floor, it's about 70 degrees. So go ahead and open this up. You see everything tumbling. Now the heat comes out of this little tube right here. So it's gonna be nice and hot coming out of that tube right there. And then that in turn, hot air mixes with your clothes, which is how they get dry. But then the air has to then move through here, which is where the lint trap is. That's why it has to be cleaned out and clear, so the air can travel, take the moisture from the clothes and move it out. Lint trap catches any additional lint, then it goes down and out the back of your dryer and then out your vent hose and outside of the house. So that's how it works. If this is all clogged up because you forget to change it or you just don't change it, then the air is going to get trapped here in the dryer and hold all that moisture. And it's going to take 2 or 3 cycles for your clothes to get dry. So that's why it's super important to make sure that you have good, clear airflow through here. And obviously everything's getting nice and hot there. So go ahead and close this back up. Push start. All right, now go ahead and let that finish up. But now you know everything on these works perfect. Hopefully some of those tips there, if you're maybe doing laundry for the first time, this will help you out, get started, get you going. Got some recommendations on some supplies there that I use. If you found this video useful and insightful and maybe valuable, if you didn't know about some of these things or how to do some of these things, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps out the channel and will push more of this content out to more people. That way, somebody maybe doing laundry for the first time can grab this and kind of get an idea of how these machines work. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day.